rolling here. So excited about this month, the first of the month. I love like fresh new starts and everything like that. And so it's May 1st. You guys have done an absolutely amazing job this last month. I thought for sure, like, man, we would get to 100, but just to see us blow by it as a team was awesome. And so everyone on this call and people that are going to be getting this recording, just to see, ended up being 106 people?
111.
111. Get out! 111 people you guys all registered last month. That's just awesome. So, like I said in the post, it means 111 more people that are going to be, getting healthy. 111 more people are going to be, chasing after their dreams. And so, hey, Miss Lori, she's got a fly on the wall until she's supposed to be here at 9:15. So now I'm all nervous. I can't say the right thing. I'm fumbling.
Whatever. You don't get nervous.
Oh, she just turned her video off. So, but man, 111 people. That was awesome. So, you know what I'm even more excited about? There are almost everyone on this call and whoever's listening, there's not a question in my mind that you guys can be having 111 people on your team every month. And it doesn't have to take that long. It can take really, I know Lacey, she has a huge goal to get like 40 new people on her team this month. And so I believe 100% that she can have that happen. So set your goals. It's the first of the month. We definitely want to have our goals in place and know, hey, what are you shooting for? And then break that down into weekly goals and daily goals. As a team, our goal is to hit at least 150 new ambassadors for a team. I believe that we can get over 200, but conservatively 150. And then the biggest goal that we're shooting for as a team is to get this young lady Emerald. And so it's totally going to be a team effort. There's no way that we can do it. It's going to be all you guys, everyone pitching in, everyone making sure that the people that we have registered last month and the month before are using the product and reordering. So following up with everyone on your team is going to be critical this month. In addition to that, I think I shared on our silver and above little thread that we have, I shared that one of my mentors said, it's not what you make, it's what you keep, and so invest in when you get money coming in, you can have millions of dollars come in, but if you don't keep any of it, it doesn't really matter. And I feel the same way about our business. It's not how many people you bring in, it's how many people we keep. And so we want to be bringing a lot of people in, but we don't want just a revolving door of people coming in and out. So a lot of that comes back to making sure that you're in constant contact with your new people, especially, at least 80% of the people on our team are wholesale ambassadors, meaning they came into the business to get the best prices on the product. And so we got to treat them like customers, not like an ambassador. We got to treat them like, hey, they need constant follow-up. They need to be, we're going to have to troubleshoot with their, if they're going through some situations, perhaps they even gained some weight or they're not seeing the results fast enough. Make sure that you're in contact with all those new ambassadors because we have to treat them just like customers. I think that's really important. So anyways, I'm just thrilled. I cannot wait till the end of the month and seeing her as a new Emerald and just for you guys all to be a part of that. It's a big deal. And so anyways, in addition to that, right before we get to our awesome Upline Diamonds chatting, I had asked Lane if she would share for a few minutes. Lane is now Lane, is this was your first full month in the business, right?
Yes, today's my 40th day.
40th day. So in her first full month of the business, she registered 10 new people. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
10 new people, and she's got downline in some of those legs as well. So I think everyone on this call would love to hear, how did you do it? What are some of the tips and that you can share with the rest of the team of how you went and registered 10 new people and got $100 extra bonus?
Yeah, thanks for that.
You're welcome. I wanted to write like 10 checks for $100, but that's all right.
We had a lot that were closed.
We did have a lot that were closed, that were like pushing it till last minute. So,
oh yeah.
So go ahead, Lane. Share some of your nuggets.
Well, my goodness, whenever you asked me to do this, I sat down and thought, how did I do that? And then I realized that, God did his part in this, or I wouldn't have been able to do it. So I just wanted to say that to start out with. The Lord brought me to this business, and he is the one that's blowing it up for me and for everybody on this team. It looks like to me.
You're going a little bit robot mode.
What I'll do is am I back?
You're getting a little bit robot on us.
Okay.
There you are.
Is this better?
It's a little bit better. Just stand on one foot
Okay.
and hop.
Am I good now? Can you hear me good?
You're good. Keep going. Yep. I'll let you know.
Okay. Holler if I go robot on you.
Okay.
One of the things that I've done from the beginning, whether I sign up an ambassador or just a preferred client, is I pray over them. I pray that the product is truly going to work for them. I pray that God reminds them to take it every day, because that's a huge factor, is for them to be consistent. And then instead of giving samples to everybody, I've had huge success with doing the online giveaways. Instead of giving just 1 or 2 packages to somebody, I feel like they're going to have more of a chance of seeing results in 3 to 5 days rather than 1 or 2 days. Do the 3 to 5 day samples. And if I can get people out of town and mail it to them, I feel like that's going to get customers somewhere else, and then that's going to grow our team all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So doing the drawings, I've tried to tell some of my ambassadors that people are going to start asking you all the time. I'm getting asked every day if I can give samples to everybody, and I'm not an emerald yet, and I can't afford that. So, just doing the drawings, and then that way you can message every single person that likes or comments on your status. Mm-hmm. You don't have to be pushy, but just be caring. Be caring and just let them know you would love to help them get started, and then just kind of customize it to their needs. So the online drawings have been the biggest thing for me by far. And then Chad told me to make my Facebook public, and that totally blew things up for me. I hadn't even thought about that. So if you're not set to public, that's something to think about, to where everybody can see what you post. Mm-hmm. Things. So that was huge for me. I have 153 messages that I'm chatting back and forth with 153 different people.
That's awesome.
All of those were on drawings. Some people, I feel like they need it. And so I just message them. I just reach out. And I have been turned down a lot. But one of my biggest tips on that is just to not be disappointed and not act disappointed. I've had several people turn me down, and 4 days later start asking questions. Mm-hmm. So, and they're just like I was. I was very, very against it until I tried it. And
right.
Now here. So consistency is key. Consistency is definitely key. Mm-hmm. And then the last thing I wanted to say is I wish that I was a goal-oriented person, but long-term goals are very, very hard for me. I get disappointed if I don't do it, if it doesn't go how I want it to go, and then you're kind of letting yourself down. So for me, it is literally one day at a time. One day. Like I have a goal to hit senior gold this month, yes. But my goal tomorrow is to wake up and plexus like crazy. And then go to bed and know that I did my best that day.
Yes.
That is huge for me. And it took me a couple weeks to catch on to that. My husband, kind of helped me in that. He said, you just need to chill out and know you're doing the best you can.
Right.
If you don't get any business that day, that's okay. Just do your best that day. So Anyway, that's about all I have. Just pray and God will lead us all, and I think He already has done awesome things for this team. So, thank you.
Agrees. He thinks that's very good advice. Is that good advice? Say good night, everybody. Daddy's gonna take over for a second.
So Lane, one of the things that I saw right out of the gate from you is that you really treated this like a business and not like a hobby. Maybe you can elaborate a little bit about that.
Yeah, once I decided to do it, I decided to be serious about it and give it my whole entire heart. And that's another thing about Facebook. You know, Facebook for me was just connecting with friends. Now that is my office. That is where I get most of my business. So going into it as a full-time job, going into it to better my family financially, every day that's what motivates me. So I'd say definitely treat Facebook like it is your office.
That's good. Really good. Good stuff. So, well, we're just proud of you. Thanks for sharing a little bit there. That's fantastic. And just keep it up. There's no question in my mind about that you're going to be hitting senior gold, and you're on such an awesome team and has such a great sponsor with Deborah. And we're just so proud of Deborah and Rebecca for hitting gold. And so you guys. So, but cool. Well, thanks again for sharing. So I'm going to make sure everyone is on mute, and then we're going to I'm going to unmute Jedman and Miss Lori. Lori, you probably know how to unmute yourself, I'd assume, by now.
Got it.
So what a treat. This is
so cool.
I feel like we just won the lottery or something. It's just like having you guys on, so amazing. So for those of you guys who haven't had a chance to meet Lori and Jeddie personally, I tell you what, it was definitely one of the highlights of us being in business so far was at the leaders retreat. We got to spend some time with them and just came to love them not just as like upline diamonds who have a amazing lifestyle and pour in so much to us, but just people. I mean, we had such a blast at dinner, and so I just came to just really just love this couple, love that. I really know beyond a shadow of a doubt that God had his hand in terms of who our upline was, in terms like our heartbeat and how the Holy Spirit works in our lives and our business. And it's just so cool to see the similarities of how he linked us up. And so we're just honored to be a part of your guys' team. And you guys probably don't know this, but Jeddie and Lori have, one of the top growing businesses of the whole world of Plexus, some of the largest diamonds, and have broken a whole bunch of diamonds. Lots and lots and lots of people, and thousands of people on their team. And so it's just a blessing to have them here. And I'm excited to whatever God's put on your guys' heart to share. And again, we appreciate you guys coming out.
Well, I was just thinking about the fact that you were talking about how you guys were put on our team and how it's not coincidental, and it's not coincidental the other way around either. Like you're looking at it like we're your upline, and I'm looking at it like you're our team, because we certainly pray to have like-minded folks join our team, people who have the passion for it and people who get it. That's really what it is, who get the products and understand that people truly need the products, and then also the people who have a passion to want to help people like you guys do. And that's a tremendous blessing for us. And it's actually probably the best lesson that I could talk about. I won't expand on it a lot, but if you're not currently just really spending some prayer time over your business and asking the Lord to send you exactly that, I highly encourage you to do that, because we are so blessed with the people that have joined our team. It's sort of almost overwhelming how truly blessed to have people like, not just you guys, not just the Dearies, but your whole team who have decided to take this on with us. And, when I was listening to, what was her name that was speaking just a minute ago? What's her full name?
Lane Loftus.
Lane Loftus. Okay. When I was listening to Lane earlier, I was thinking about some of the things that she's talking about. And anytime I listen to someone who is new but has passionately taken this business on, it always takes me back to when I started. And in some ways, when I started, it was 4 years ago, but in some ways it feels like I've done Plexus my whole life. And then sometimes it feels like I started yesterday, depending on what the situation is, you know? And, but when I was listening to her, it felt like, gosh, I'm like, that feels like that was forever ago. However, you still go through the same seasons of basically you repeat the same action over and over. You get better at it, but this business is all about repeating the same actions that got you to silver. You're fine-tuning that skill so that the next time you have to give something like an elevator speech, basically where, you know, someone says, what's Plexus? You get better at it to where you don't fumble over your words, or you don't turn an elevator speech into a dissertation. Those are the skills that you fine-tune. So the skill set gets better, but the actual, I guess, objectives, the rules and objectives are exactly the same. And that's to introduce more people to Plexus, have more people that join your team that are passionate about it the way you are, so on and so forth. And so I guess tonight I really wanted to ask you guys that are on the call tonight, and are you guys recording? Yeah. So anybody who watches this video, first of all, I'm sure, I should say this, I'm sure that Chatty Daddy has told you. So what I'm about to say, if you don't, I'm not saying Chad probably forgot to tell you to write your goals down. However, sometimes it helps to hear that from someone who didn't do it for a long time. Like, I didn't write anything down except, like, I mean, I practically need my phone number written down these days because it's like I have so much stuff going on. And in the beginning, I had we had a lot of stuff coming in, a lot of information from people telling us, you know, that they were considering doing Plexus. Or that, you know, there are ways that people tell you I'm considering Plexus without coming out and tell you. They comment on your statuses and you think, okay, that person's interested. Keeping those names on a list is something I didn't do. And I now have, there's a Sapphire ambassador in this company that's not under me because I didn't write her name. She's under me, but she's not directly under me. Because I didn't write her name down. I didn't prospect her. I actually knew. Once I saw her name actually show up in my downline, I was like, oh, dang. Oh, my gosh. Like, in my opinion, I'm like, authentically should have belonged to me, but I didn't prospect her properly. Does that make sense? Like, the person in my downline who prospected her properly, like hardcore prospecting. And I think to myself, man, well, first of all, that's a lesson you only have to learn once. After that, you keep good notes. After that, you also realize that you really need to have your goal written down. To me, that's like, if I had made a list of top 10 things that I would tell somebody, it needs to be written down. It needs to be, I think, Jeddie, do you remember that at the Jewel training we did, it was SMART goals. So it was like SMART. It was specific. Hang on, I'm writing this down. Do y'all already know this?
I've read it before. Measurable, attainable.
Okay, hang on. Let me look it up really good because I can give you a really good spiel if I'm looking at the words.
I'll expand on that while she's looking at that. I'll expand on that, like that person that she said that's a Sapphire that's actually should have been we would have probably as a team put her under me, maybe her, I don't know. But that person ended up, I think the person's like a level 3 or 4 to me now. But
yeah,
it's easy. And a lot of us are guilty of this, of putting people in a box or pre-qualifying people and thinking like, oh, you know, they don't need this, or, you know, they wouldn't do this because it's network marketing. They don't need this, you know, they don't need the money, whatever. Try to always not put people in a box. that can be a huge, huge detriment to you or your business or whatever, because that person very well can be a rock star or even not. But anyway, try not to prejudge people in this business. So
yes, we try not to kick ourselves too much about that. I think he actually may kick me about it a little.
Silently. I'm a big guy. Silently.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I don't know that he does. He doesn't tell me that he does, but he also knows that I know that I should have done that. He sort of told me I should have done that before it happened. And so when it happened, I was like, oh my gosh. Anyway, okay, I found it. So SMART is specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. And so specific goals means exactly what you want, and the time bound part, those go together. Exactly what you want to achieve and when you want to achieve it by. So the S and the T. Measurable means, for example, which is, to me, in Plexus, it's very easy to measure the goal because typically it's ranks, or not always though. It can be a particular financial goal that you want to achieve by a certain time. You want to be able to pay your house payment, that type of thing. Attainable. I'm one of these people, they asked me to speak about goals at our Jewel training, and when I saw attainable, immediately my feathers went up. I was like, all goals are attainable. Almost all goals are attainable. Why would they say? And then I was like, well, I really probably would never be president of the United States. So attainable is relatively speaking, I understand, but I believe that a lot of times people think, I think it's attainable that I could become a silver ambassador, when the truth is they could easily become an emerald if they put their heart to it. Relevant, your goal has to be relevant to you to inspire you to do it. That's the way I look at that. If it's a goal to get your house clean, but there's no relevance to it, like always, that's almost always the case for me. Like, it's relevant for me to organize my closet, but it's not nearly as relevant as something else could be, another goal I could make for myself. So make your goal relevant to you. And the T part, time bound. I already sort of talked about that. When I talked about goals at the Jewel training, I was talking to a group of people who I felt like, well, they've probably done this a lot. Like, they've done it. I thought, it's going to be difficult to talk to people who have set goals, achieved those goals. And so then I really branched off into dreams, which I feel like are kind of like the same thing, but not really. And I told them to ask themselves, and I want to ask you this tonight. What would you do with your life if money was no object? For example, if money didn't exist, like in our culture, and you weren't required to have to pay bills. And I actually had the Jewels close their eyes, and I said, I want you to think to yourself, what would I do? And all I could do was imagine, because the Jewels are by definition probably motivated people. They're probably in some way or the other either active in their community or they have active families, something. And so I just was imagining what someone might do. Also, the lesson in that for me was, probably had someone ask me, what would you do with your life if money wasn't an object? If they had asked me that 10 years ago, my answer would have been completely different than it is now. Now that I have experienced what it's like to impact people's lives, because 10 years ago, I didn't have any really experience in that. The most I had impacted someone's life 10 years ago was I had impacted my children's lives by becoming a mom. But that's very important and still wholly very important to me. But it's different than impacting other people who you normally would never have an opportunity to impact their lives. And to help people get well and help people become completely financially free and help people achieve their goals. And I encourage you to think through that tonight too, to think to yourself, okay, what would I want to do with my life if money was not an object? And I know that you know this somewhere in the back of your mind, but you can, with Plexus, you can come to a place, and depending on what your monthly bills look like, many of you could probably achieve it rather quickly, like replace your prior income to whatever your day job is. I know that doesn't make money not an object, but it kind of takes money and puts it aside to where you can, if you have replaced the income that you used to make with your Plexus income, and it's coming in residually, and you're not having to devote 40 hours every week or more, many of you may work more than that, to your Plexus business, it really opens a lot of time freedom for you to dive into something that's your passion. And honestly, weirdly enough, Plexus and Plexus people have become very much my passion, which I never would have dreamed that I would have a job that I love so much that it's the money that I make and it's also my passion. Like I devote my extra hours that are free hours to me, that after I have devoted however much time I plan to spend with my family every day, I still have those extra hours, and I want to devote it back to my team and spending time with them. And really, my goal tonight is to really expand your mind. So when you're writing your goals down, that you can have an outlook that is beyond. I want you to have the goal of going silver, going gold, going senior gold, all those things along the way. But I want you to have something that's doing a little tap dance inside your brain that says, I remember what Lori said about having time freedom. And I'm going to let that little dream that I conjured up when she said that, I'm going to let that inspire me every day to do more than I would have done, to do a little bit more, to reach out to someone who scares me, to reach out to someone who intimidates me, to not prejudge someone like Jeddie was saying earlier. I mean, it's a real kick in the tail feathers when something like that happens. Yeah. And hang on, I want to look at my notes here. I'll make sure.
Yeah, I think there's like 10 of you on here besides Lori and Chad and I. And basically, I see that as, you're either in a leadership role, want to be a leader or whatever. Leadership and influence kind of go hand in hand. And a lot of you may have came onto this team just through Chad's leadership or Krista's leadership or influence. And some of you or anybody else may came in as a follower. But what I want you to, and we all need followers. I mean, that's how we create leaders. But I want you to attract leaders to yourself. I want you to what I look for, and actually speak over myself. Lori does too, is to attract people that do not need me. I mean, I'll always be there for them. I mean, to answer, to do whatever they need. But I want people that'll take this and say, hey, I'll call you. You can buy me a steak next week. Because I'm doing my thing. And I think that all of you should be asking for those people, searching those people. And those people may be on your chicken list, if you will. They may be the ones that scare you. Go after those people anyway. And I think it was Lane Loftus, or Laney, I think is how you say that. Consistency. There's two types of people that are watching you. The ones that are on your team, they're wanting to see that you're consistent, and they're the ones that's watching you on Facebook that's wanting to see if you fail. Don't let them see you fail. Be consistent.
A lot of people are sitting around waiting, just not. So you've got the ones that maybe actually like watching, hoping that you do fail. But most of them, that's not true.
But they will. Well, I should have went farther with that. It's not that they want to see you fail. They want to see if you will continue with it, basically.
That's what I was going to say. They're just waiting to see if you're really going to stick with this longer, because hopefully now we have people that come to us and they're like, wow, you're not going to quit, are you? We're like, no, we're not going to quit. And it's funny to me that people have that mindset ever, but they'll be very clear with you. They're like, I watched you for a long time thinking that, eventually you would go on to something else. And when you didn't, that's when I started taking you seriously. And you have your prime audience of the people I just described are watching you every day on your Facebook posts. They are probably watching to make sure you don't do a lot of things that look like things that they don't want to do on Facebook, like ads, not posting ads. The best thing that I can tell you as far as Facebook goes is if you are at all skilled in telling a story, the more you can tell a story on Facebook, the more you're going to find people who truly connect on a heart level with you, who want to take this business and work it for the passion side of it, rather than you getting on people's nerves. Honestly, it's hard for me to watch sometimes, and I don't watch any of your Facebook posts, so I'm not even real familiar with most of the names on this call, so I don't want anybody to think I'm talking about you. But when I watch people post on Facebook, my news feed is full of people that maybe I met at convention or at a Super Saturday, and they're not even necessarily on my team. And as I watch them post on their Facebook wall, I just think, oh my word, they turn me off, and I love Plexus. So I can only imagine how much they turn off the people who don't even know anything about Plexus or have suspicious minds about what Plexus is and that type of thing. So the more that you can tell your story, the more that you can, share other people's stories, the more that you can personally reach out to people, the better. And I'm going to actually put something in the chat box right now. Y'all use the chat box on here very much, Chad? Let's see.
A little bit.
Okay. Well, I thought I was. Hang on one second. Let me make sure I had it. Let me make sure I had it copied, because it's acting like I don't. This is the referral language, excuse me, that I borrowed from a gal who has like several $1,000s worth of PV. Here it is. Every month. And she said that how she does it is she this message right here that I'm about to share with you. If it doesn't let me, I'll share it with Chad and I'll read it.
I'll see if I can do it.
You see it, Jenny?
Is that the one you sent me a while ago?
Yeah.
Find it?
Yeah, I found it. It's that I can't get it to paste.
I'll see if I can do it.
Okay. Regardless, I'll read it to you while he's finding it, because I don't want there to be this long, weird pause here. It says, hi, Sherry. How's it going? I'm not sure if you have seen any of my posts raving about this amazing health and wellness company called Plexus Worldwide. I was wondering if you by chance, there's a typo there. If you by chance know of anyone that has high blood pressure, high cholesterol, in constant pain, or struggles to lose weight. Well, Plexus can help. Plexus has an amazing pain relief line. And then my favorite, a probiotic that is a must for our gut health. With today's eating habits that we have, it's my belief that everyone could benefit from a good probiotic. It's been able to help people with all of that and so much more. I'm super passionate about Plexus products and just love spreading the word about them and hearing how they've changed so many lives, including my own in so many ways. If you know of anyone that might be interested, I am doing a referral special for new customer orders or ambassador signups. It's a great way to make some extra money without having to sell anything. I'd love to share my story. I'm really amazed at these products and just want to help others too. Thanks so much and have a great day. So when she shared this with me, I thought, okay, well, what's the referral special? How much, what do you give when someone gives you a referral? So I asked her, and her answer was, I never have to give anything because they always say, okay, tell me more. And then they're interested in it for themselves. Because she rarely has anybody read it that goes ahead and refers someone, because they immediately think, I'm not giving you all my friends. Not giving you all my friends' names until I find out that I want to pass up this deal. So I posted this on my team page, and several people took it and ran with it. And several of them immediately started signing up new customers and new ambassadors. So did you get it to post, Jeddie?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can take that and there's a couple of typos I noticed when I was wondering if you by chance know of anyone. Take that out of there. And I think there's a question mark where there shouldn't be one. But anyway, the general idea of it is really good. And I encourage you this week to like reach out to, I'd say like Monday. Mondays are the best in my opinion. Mondays and Tuesdays. Doesn't seem like that's true, but I feel that is true. People don't really respond as well on the weekends for some reason. Monday or Tuesday morning, mid-morning, send that out to 15 people and see what happens. See if you get any bites. And then if somebody actually does take you up on the referral special and says, well, I have a cousin who has high cholesterol or something that you mentioned, then you can come up with whatever you want. You can say, if they sign up and become a new ambassador, I'll send you some samples or a few sticks of Slim, or I'll send you $10 off if you decide to order something, or I'll send you a bottle of something. Just depends on how much, skin you want to put in the game. But it works. I promise. This is a good tactic and it really works with people. So that was one thing. Hang on a second.
Yeah. And don't be scared. If you feel that you have a lack of knowledge, or you feel that you need to know everything before you send that to someone, or about the business or anything, don't be scared to not know an answer to something. There's always Chad and Chris are always there to answer questions. And don't be scared to tell the people that you don't know what the answer is. That's authentic. If you say, I don't know that answer, I'll go find it. They'll love that. Don't be scared to not know everything. Don't let that hold you back, basically.
Also, I feel like it's really important, like I'm just feeling this right now, that I should say that if any of you on this call tonight are struggling with one person, one specific person who has either resisted or told you no, let's say if that person is a cousin or a sister, someone who is a friend of yours, like close connection, and you know how badly they need the products, and therefore here's what I feel happens. They need it really bad, and you know how much it's going to help them, and for whatever reason they're not taking you seriously. First, it hurts your feelings, and secondly, it can put you in this like I don't know, really goofy mode where it's like I can't even go any further until I get them to say yes, because if I can't get her to say yes, and she's my good friend, and you go into this like goofy. Well, it's first of all, let me tell you how desperately common it is, and how like you can have a sister who struggles with something that's so like Texas just gets rid of on their first month or whatever. Let's just say this is an example, and then you know how much it would help. Literally, you could go get a stranger well of the same thing before they'd be willing to listen to you. That's so common. So don't let that be something, a stump. And I feel like there's somebody like listening tonight that's their thing. And if it is, and you've told Chad, he didn't tell me, this is just like something I feel like that's it. That's what I've been doing. I had to do this like with my own sister. Now, fortunately for me, my own sister's rebellion was very long-winded, and I didn't even realize how rebellious she was until well into my career. I just thought she was forgetful. Like, I will order, but I kind of find out it was rebellion against me in some way. And sometimes I think it's just people like subconsciously playing a mind game with you. They're waiting you out to see if you'll just move on to something else. And they're all like, yeah, should be Tupperware next week, and I don't have to buy any of that stuff or whatever. And the longer you're with it and the more people that you help and they see the results from, they eventually will take you seriously. However, the negative energy that you put out by being so frustrated at that person will, I promise you, block the blessings that are trying to come your way, but you're all like, but I'm mad, and you're putting out this bad juju. You need to just be like, show her the way, Lord, and in the meantime, I'm just going to cruise on down the road, okay? Big deal. That's a big deal for some people for some reason. And I'm not making fun. It was a big deal for me too. And are we like on a time limit? I'm just rattling.
Go for it.
I do want to ask if anybody is anybody in the middle of something that you feel like, okay, this is what stumps me. It can be a product question. It can be a business question. It could be anything. I feel like I should field some questions tonight if anybody has. I should have told you earlier on that I would take questions so you could prepare. But does anybody have a question? I'm going to sip my tea until you come up with one.
What's the number one tip you would give somebody like Lainey that's has a lot of people that she signed up, and let's say they're all pulling at her and wanting information, and she's pouring out into them? What's the number one tip you would have for her in that situation?
They all want information from her?
Yeah. What would she need to do to make sure that she can keep pouring out into them? I'm asking you that question.
Okay, I feel
I
like
know the answer. You know the answer.
That's what you're going for, and my brain is going. Does she have a team page?
Well, yeah. That's a good one.
Okay,
So
They're all potentials
So she has like 150 people that she's
that are
encountered.
on the fence and haven't joined yet.
Yeah. And she signed, I think she said she signed 10, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, let's say those 10 people, which can be a lot, let's say they're all pulling information from you, and you're pouring out and pouring out and pouring out information. Eventually you'll run dry if you don't keep filling yourself back up. That's where I was going.
I was thinking, I know he's trying to get me to say something, but this was my big deal in the beginning. I did not take a break and spend time with my family nearly often enough. I felt like I was letting people down if I didn't answer them the moment I saw their message. Mm-hmm. I have had to completely revamp my game, and I wish that I had done this a lot sooner, because you can be passionate about something but also have business hours, if that makes sense. You can be completely driven, however many, let's say 20 hours or 40 hours or however many hours a week you want to give to this business. You can give your all to your team and pour your heart into them during business hours. That's how every business in the world operates. Now, sometimes my business hours are, I don't have set business hours because that's just not the way my brain flows, but I get on my phone and I don't like sit around and wait. Like I don't get on there and answer a few messages and wait to see if somebody else will answer me. It's like sometimes it's 8 to 10 at night because that's when everything kind of chills at my house, and I can get on there and see who asked me questions in the last several hours. I can answer their questions, and then I put my phone away, because if I'm just scrolling through Facebook for 45 more minutes, I'm going to have 5 more questions or 2 more questions or whatever. So I feel like early on, if you are taking time for yourself, staying locked in with your spouse, so important. Go to dinner with your spouse. If you want to be a leader in this company, it's not a hobby. If you want to like change your life with this business, you'll put in some hours, and it can become sort of almost like addicting. And so it's like you have to intentionally spend extra time making sure that you are spending time with your spouse, spending time with your kids. And then when you are doing business, you lock in and you focus and you do it really. The dearies are laughing right now. Oh, we've been there. But like, it's like so important that you do this. And also that you're spending time on yourself, like pouring into yourself, whatever that means to you. Sometimes I have to watch really great videos. Sometimes it's educational, like where I'm watching great videos. For a long time, I was really into documentaries about health. Like I could, because I came from such a bologna sandwich type background, like everything was nothing to do with health. And so I really struggled understanding. So for a long time, when I would be pouring into myself, it would be knowledge-based. So I could learn more about our bodies and how they work. And then I had to really build myself up in the business arena and begin to work on my own confidence and my self-esteem. And it's okay to talk in front of people. Even if you panic, you can do it. And all these things. But also sometimes pouring into yourself means everybody needs to leave me alone for a while. I'm going to go even shop. Like for me, I'm one of these weirdos, probably, this is probably weird, but I like to walk through a store and like window shop in the store, like just browse the aisles. And for some reason, it like decompresses. I'm not doing anything, usually not even really buying anything. Ross is my favorite store to do this in. Just like to look at things. Has nothing to do with plexus or a colon. It has nothing to do with anybody's eating habits. And it can be totally like, oh, that's pretty wall decor, and my brain will take a little adventure about that or whatever. But you know what your thing is that can kind of get you in a where your brain relaxes mode. It may be like, you know, PJs and popcorn or whatever, a good movie. But you have to make time for yourself. Otherwise, you will go through seasons like I did where my team is going, hello, where's our leader? And I'm like, I walk around like I don't know who I am anymore. Like I would go through seasons of that because I was having to make things up as I went along and all of this. And that's really what you're referring to, Jeddie, isn't it?
Yeah,
all that.
Yeah. That's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah. That was big for us. Actually, the two of us navigating the waters with no one to tell us. Make time for yourself. Make sure that you are making your marriage and your kids the number one priority. And even sometimes if you're pushing for a goal and you're like, I want to be senior Ruby by, you know, July or whatever. If you neglect some of the most important things for 60 days, it doesn't need to be the whole year. It needs to be like, if you're like, okay, we're going to lock down. My family understands. We're going to win an iPad. I'm going to be at the gala. Whatever it is. But then you have to go back and whatever. What am I trying to say? Reset and get back on. Somebody said something that popped up a second ago. Hang on. I didn't see what they said. I just saw just wanted to say, oh. Yeah. I knew, and you may not be the only one on here who's struggling with that exact thing with your sister. Now that we've given you enough time to think, does anybody have a question?
I have a question.
Okay.
This is Rebecca, by the way.
Okay.
Hi. My question was, and it kind of goes with what you were saying already about, I still struggle with trying to find that balance, and I work full time, and I have my kids, so it's kind of hard to find, those, even finding like quote unquote office hours. Like sometimes my kids don't even get to bed till like 10 o'clock. So it's, it's kind of always crazy around here. But I know a while back, I heard you talking a few times about like the toiling thing, and how you kind of feel like you're like work. And so that was my question. Like, how do you kind of get away from that? Because I feel like I try to get away from that, and slowly I kind of start sinking back into that hole of almost like borderline obsession. Like I don't know where to draw that line.
Yeah. Well, okay. I think maybe if you will keep in the back of your mind, someone said this to me. I asked a similar question to someone who was ranks ahead of me. I asked a similar question, and she said to me, if you get where you want to be and you're all by yourself, are you going to be happy? And I was like, why would I, in my mind, my first reaction was, why would I be all by myself? And then I thought, oh my gosh. Okay, I get it. And it was a really big gut check for me. I mean, like I wasn't at the point where I thought I was going to be by myself. It wasn't anything like that. But in my mind, I thought, this person who's way ahead of me has experienced something that made her ask me that question. Does that make sense? Like, she's experienced something, and I just let my imagination go. I have no idea what it was that she's experienced, but something gave her that wisdom. And for me, I feel myself reeling into, because, once you've hit diamond, there's always double diamond, but I'm going to be honest with you. Double diamond's a thing I'll hit one of these days. I'm not worried about the timing of it nearly like I was in the beginning trying to reach the ranks. For me, now it's more about really making sure that I do what God's called me to do with this precious time that I've been given, like the time freedom that comes with being financially free. And so it's hard for me as a Jewel, and I feel myself, like I feel tears welling up, but it's hard to be on the Jewels page and watch other people who I know that I am just as whatever, measurably whatever, and I don't win the gala. Or I am just as whatever and don't win a certain prize, whatever it is. And then I ask myself, sometimes it's about wanting to know that I won that prize. It's not about the prize. Like, sometimes I look at myself and I think, sometimes the prize they give away is something that I could do on my own anytime I wanted to. And so you have to really ask yourself, what's driving you? Is it so that you can have time freedom someday? Is it so that you can pour your heart into your children or into some sort of ministry, or even into being a stay-at-home mom? That's what I always used to think that would be my dream. And what happened in the meantime of me thinking I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom is my kids have almost grown up on me. And so that's been like, it's like you can't let it slip through your hands. So in those times when you're experiencing that, where you feel like it's sucking you back in, you just have to ask yourself those questions. And if this business doesn't do you that way, don't feel like, gosh, I don't even know what she's talking about. That sounds a little bit insane, because I can understand. As I listened to myself, I realized not only am I sweating, I sound a little insane. But Rebecca, you asked me that, and so that means that you probably do understand what I'm saying, don't you?
Yes, I get it.
Yes. And I hope my answer probably helps you with that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
So in terms of adding a lot of new people here this month, what suggestions do you guys have for us in terms of helping them get a customer really quick so their points qualify and whatnot? Any suggestions along those levels of how you guys have done it in the past? And make sense?
Jeddie, you have a good answer for that?
Ask that question one more time for me.
So in terms of this month, let's say we put in whatever 150 people, and we are obviously needing some of those 150 to qualify, so that they get a customer or whatever. Is there anything that you guys did in the past when you guys were hitting ranks that helped them get that customer really quick, or anything you can think of along those lines in terms of get them to do another 100 PV outside of their welcome pack?
I would start first in their own household. If there's a financial issue, if you're just like, hey, I don't have the extra $100 or $120 to spend in my household, they can go after family member, or ask for that email she put in here to send people, or wording, if you will, is excellent for those people to send to and ask for referrals. Because 9 times out of 10, when you ask somebody for referrals, they're gonna go through their list in their head real quick, and they'll come up with 5 to 10 names, and they're not going to give you those names because they're going to say, okay, well, maybe I can do this, instead of just handing my influence, my people over to you. So, number one, I would use that wording that she put in here. Number two, if you have somebody in your household that needs or can benefit from our products, start there. I think that's
like some of the underdog products that don't really get enough shine. Like the body cream is an amazing product. If there's a woman in the house,
the ease also. Any guys that's done manual labor, or accidents, or pains or aches or whatever, that stuff is my candy. I mean, I love it, love it, love it, love it. I go through 3 bottles a month minimum.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I take it a bunch. So, and X Factor. I mean, we have all kinds of support products, and really, I mean, they're we call them support products, but they have their own amazing abilities. So, yeah, there's many ways that one can either expand their PV, through their own household, or number one, I would use that referral better.
Cool.
You're talking about people who have already joined.
Yeah, or even like,
Or if you have someone.
even like Lane has a goal to go senior gold. So right now, she has to add those people in, but then also some of those people have to qualify this month, and for that to count for this month.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I mean, I guess probably the only thing there then is incentives.
Mm-hmm.
At that point. So for example, offering incentives for, you could select all of your people that fit in that category you just described, and you could put them in a group message on Facebook and say, just wanted to offer this incentive. And you could say, for everybody who qualifies $100 or more above and beyond the price of their welcome pack, or whatever it needs to be, 100 PV. I wanted to offer such and such, to put your name in a drawing, or to so if you didn't already order the X Factor, or if you've already ordered those ones that are at 60 above, or that are at 50, 60, 80 above their welcome pack or whatever, I want to tell you a little bit about the X Factor, or do a little bit of a show what it does to the body cream does for a lady's hair, or some of them maybe who ordered the welcome pack that has like 40 packs of, or I'm sorry, the welcome packs are not the same as they used to be, but like has additional packs of the same like duplicate product. If you could encourage those people to maybe sell one of theirs that they would have maybe used for next month and the next month or whatever, say, just if they are questioning, you say, also if you're planning on using your extra product, it might be a good way to get yourself a new customer. If you considered selling that other pack of Slim and that other accelerator, or that other Slim and whatever ProBio or triplex combo or whatever, and you might get yourself a little customer out of the deal, and that would cause them, and then you would have a chance to order at that point. So I'm just putting ideas out there. I know these are probably, you're like, yeah, we thought of that.
No, that's good.
And also to clarify, I think you said post on Facebook, but you meant like in your group page or whatever, right? Isn't that what you meant?
I said put them in a Facebook group or a Facebook group message is what I meant.
Okay. Yeah.
My bad. I don't know what I said. Put the ones who qualify to have that message sent to them.
Yeah.
Just the group message, or you can individually message them. It's probably less risky, honestly, to individually message them. I was thinking you might create some excitement if you put them in a group, but if you have one person who goes on the whole I can't afford it deal, then they all can't afford it. So probably put them all in a or probably don't put them all in a group message together. Instead, probably just individually message them and offer what I'm talking about. And I don't know. That's the only thing that's coming to me right now.
It's good.
No, that's good.
Also, when I first started out, I used to go to the Dollar Tree and get little cutesy prizes that didn't cost me the entire amount of like a whole product, for example. And I would go get like these cute little mugs that Malia has. Some of these are little plastic, and they're like, right now we just got some the other day. They're plastic, like hot pink and blue and green or whatever, but they have little chevron print all the way around, and you can put a stick of Slim and a body cream sample, and maybe like if it's for a lady, you put some lipstick and some nail polish or something in there. All of this came from the Dollar Tree. It's costing you $5, and you can take a picture of that and say, I'm going to be giving out 5 of these, so you're spending $25. You're getting 5. You're going to do a drawing. I'm going to give 5 of these away. And if you only have 18 or 20 that are eligible for it, their odds of getting, one of those prizes is pretty good. And you would be surprised at what a team member will do to get something in the mail. And I'm not joking about that. That's actually probably the best advice I've given you is the $5 prize deal. I'm serious. If you need your PV to go up, though, if you're borderlining on the 500, or if it's convention credit time and you need it to bump over one of those marks, giving away product is the smartest thing, in my opinion. Bumping your PV up higher by giving away a few probios or a few X factors or something like that. Am I making sense on all that? Okay. So I'm trying to kind of, I'm trying to talk to my newbies, but also talk to some, higher ranks or people who really want to, they're all in and they want to get in there. I will tell you something I did not do in the beginning, and I could kick myself for it, is I didn't put as much value into, I didn't appropriately place value in appropriating funds that I was making back into my business. I had this lame idea that I earned that money, that's my money, and didn't really realize that for every dollar, once I did start investing money back into my business, I realized at that point how much I cheated myself and my business and my team and everybody by not taking and pouring back into my team with incentives, and I didn't do mail outs, like where you send someone one of the catalogs or you send someone one of the brochures. And now I'm talking about prospects, not necessarily teammates. I didn't put money into my business the way I should, because I had gone around with this poverty mindset for so many years where I never thought that I would have extra money to do stuff like that. Once I started doing it, the extra money started coming in to do it more. And it pays for itself so quickly that literally if you gain one preferred customer, I tell this story all the time. If you send a mail out that has, one of the magazines or the catalogs or something in it, if you send 10 of those out, the amount that it costs you to send 10 of those out, if you get one preferred customer out of the deal, that residual income on the commission and the preferred customer bonus of someone on the triplex pays for you to do that every month. And every month you're drawing new people in, and eventually you're not spending anything, it's paying you. So that's another thing that I think is probably a smart thing for people to think about.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Those are good tips. Any questions? Quiet church mouse.
I want to tell you a quick story. My quick stories are always not quick, but anyway, I'm trying to make it. One of our, actually two of our teammates dropped by the house today, but my daughter Malia had a birthday party yesterday, and they came by in relation to that. And while they were here, he said, I want my husband to see the pool. So we took him out to see the pool. And while we were out there, we started talking about something completely unrelated. But in the process of me telling her a story, she said, can I have you pray over me? And I said, okay. She said, I feel like you're supposed to pray over me. And she named a couple other people who are in her family and on my team. I said, okay. I said, you want to wait until they're here and we can, we can all pray together? You want me to do it now? She goes, no, I feel like you're supposed to do it now. Well, oh my word. Like, I had no idea what was in store. When I started praying, the holy realms opened up, and I was getting like, I don't know. I didn't grow up in church, so I don't know what was happening. Like, I don't know the words, but like visions. And the lady was shaking. And right by my pool, like I was thinking, what is going to happen if she falls in the pool? And I kept thinking, don't think about that. But anyway, I feel very connected to your team, to the Deary team. So that's you guys. And I feel like this is an impartation that's going to involve this team. And so I was like, I had a vision back in like 2007, and I didn't know it was a vision. I didn't know what it was because I was awake. And anytime I would tell it to people, it was very, very distinct and clear to me. And so I didn't know that kind of thing happened to people. So when I would tell people about it, I would tell them it was a dream, because I was like, because I was embarrassed to say, oh, this happened while I was awake, because then I sound like I'm nuts in my mind. I sound like I'm nuts. But basically, I saw this. I don't know that I've ever even told this on a Zoom call. I've told it to a few people, but I saw this vision of like this humongous stadium. It was huge, and I was watching it from above, and this vision came back to me today, just clear as a bell, so I'm repeating it to you now. And I was watching something going on, and it was dark outside, but something's going on inside this stadium, and there are cars for miles. You can see their headlights, and they're all going, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, in my dream, and I'm thinking, where are they going? What are they doing? Why are they going there? I was so excited. My heart was so excited in the dream, and I was like lowering down in it, and I could get more excited as I got closer to it. And then just like by snapping fingers, all of a sudden I landed in the middle of it, and I'm looking around me, and I'm in the middle of this, and I realized that, like, at the time it happened in 2007, the only way I could describe it, when I told Jeddie or I told my mom, I said, it was my people that were causing it. So I assumed it was my family, because that's the only people I had at the time. So I was like, it was my people. We were like in the middle. We were causing this. I thought I was a spectator until I landed in the middle of it. And I was looking to the right and left, and I was like, oh my gosh. And in my dream, it made perfect sense what it was. My mom quizzed me about this probably 15 times over the years. Did you ever figure out what it was? Because she would say, was it music? And I'm like, no, it wasn't really music. Music would have been the most logical thing in 2007. Like, well, was it like it wasn't music. And I was like, it wasn't really worship, but it was like worship. And anyway, on and on. Whatever this vision was, when I would describe it to Jeddie, I'd say it was like the Pied Piper. The people were coming in like they were charmed, literally. Like they were knocking people over to get in the doors of this place. And today, I was out there praying for her, and I mean, that vision just like settled on my shoulders, and I started telling her, praying it out loud. I was like, you have to listen to this, what this vision was. And she'd already started shaking. You can imagine she started really shaking. And her husband says, if you build it, they will come. When I have described this dream to Jeddie or my husband, or my other husband, my mom and my husband is what I mean. Jeddie or my husband. When I've described this dream to them in the past, I've always said it's like Field of Dreams. So when I was saying it out loud today, the husband that was out there of this couple, he says, if you build it, they will come. And when he said that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's how I've always described it. And I have no idea, like, I wrote it down to talk about tonight. I have no idea how it's going to pertain to everything. But I think that the reason I opened this whole thing with dreaming and goals and like, what would you do with your life if money was no object, is because I feel like God is using Plexus to free people up that he's fixing to use in a ministry way or in his purpose. And I don't think it's going to be ministry like for example, if you're a person who goes, church, oh, it makes me yawn. Like, I don't like the idea of church. I don't think it's going to be church. Like, I think it's so different than anything the world has ever seen. And I think that me and people I know are going to be right in the middle of it. And it very well could be people that are on this call tonight. So I highly encourage you to ask yourself that, like, what is my dream? What would be something I would be so passionate about that I'd get in the middle of a stadium and, like, pray over people about, or talk to people about, or work with youth about, or work with broken families about, or people who are struggling in their marriage, or those types of things. If whatever your passion is, I think that's the way that God is using Plexus to get rid of our brain fog, so that whatever, like fluoride in the water has done to our brains. I'm not sure that, don't get on me like I'm wearing an armadillo hat here, but whatever the toxins and chemicals in the foods that the products are making us better. And the opportunity is opening up channels in ways that we can give and give and give, not just financially, but give of our time and of ourselves in ways that I never dreamed would be possible for my family, much less a lot of the people that I love in my life who are now in a position to give of themselves in those same kinds of ways. So I hope that spoke to somebody tonight. I know for me, when I was praying, by the way, nobody has ever come to my house and asked me to pray for them. I just thought that was like the coolest. And as we started praying and that all just like surfaced up, like when she left, Jeddie was like, I know he was thinking, how did that all come to be? Because, he walks over there and the next thing you know, we're shaking right by the pool. But it was the coolest thing to me. And since it happened today, I thought maybe I should share it with you guys. Maybe there's something to all that. So anyway, okay, I'll shut up for now.
That's awesome.
That was awesome.
I can see that happening.
Yeah. Are there any other questions that we have? Because I do want to close this in prayer if I haven't scared y'all.
Don't be by your bathtub. You might fall in. Yeah, I don't see any other questions, but yeah, I'd love for you to pray.
Okay, Lord, we just come to you tonight with just open hearts, so open to whatever your plan is. I just pray your bold, holy, bold courage over this team that I'm talking to tonight. Just crazy courage, where we're the ones that are known for just asking people to join us. We're not afraid. We are made to be the courageous ones. We're the ones that don't. If we're going to let something boss us around, it's not going to be fear. We're just so grateful that you've given us that spirit of, I'm going to testify to what the Lord's done in my life. I'm going to testify to what these products do for me, and I'm going to testify to what the opportunity, how it's opened my mind and expanded my life in ways that I can share with other people, and it makes a difference in their life. I pray over every marriage that is represented on this team. I pray that God will create strong bonds in your relationships. If it's not a marriage, or your relationships with your kids, whoever it is that in your life that's important to you, that as those bonds are tested, that they are strengthened. Every single time a test comes up, that you're reminded of your priority and you strengthen that bond. I just pray that I keep getting holy boldness over this team. Just so much of an outpouring of holy boldness and anointing to walk the walk, and just have the Holy Spirit so thick on us that when we are in people's presence, we don't have to appear crazy. We don't have to be unusual. We just have to be different enough that people wonder what makes us at peace, extending grace to people and loving on people who are unlovable. God wants us to love those unlovable people so much. And I just pray that we do that. I pray that his grace is so thick in us and it's pouring out our pores, that we are loving on the unlovable people, and that we're not allowing those relationships that seem broken with people who are unlovable in our lives to dictate how our blessings flow. Oh my goodness, that was a mouthful, but I'm going to say that again. We don't allow our perception of other people and the journey that they're on that seems to make them unlovable, to dictate the way we react and respond to them in a way that causes the blessings not to be able to flow through us, and also cause us not to be able to extend grace to people. We have to love on people, love them where they are. And I pray that that's what we do. I pray over our kids for their safety, and I pray over that whole generation of new people as like little human beings that God is just raising up to be a generation that's going to blow our minds with their creativity and their amazing awesomeness, where we will be able to sit back and be in awe at what kind of adults they turn into. And I just pray over them every single day. I pray that your anointing pours into them and that you protect them from the enemy, Lord. And that any struggles that they come against are just character building, that they're the things that that particular person needs to go through in order to learn what they need to be who they're going to be. I pray that every person on this call tonight can feel a tangible presence of you in their home. Even as they're going to sleep tonight, Lord, they can tangibly feel your presence in a way that only the Holy Spirit can provide. Pray that they get deeper into your word, Father, like into your things that seem mysterious to them in your word, Lord, that you would open the channels of their mind and their hearts in ways that they can understand how your word is a love story written specifically for them. If anybody has a health concern on this call tonight, or has someone in their life that has a health concern, I feel like the Lord is just saying, lay it at my feet. Whatever it is, just lay it at my feet. We ask all of these things in your name, Lord. In Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate you guys. So blessed to be on your team, and so excited to see you guys in just like a little over a month. Can't wait.
That's right. I can't wait to see you guys too, all of you. I hope we get to see as many of you that come to convention. I hope we get to meet all of you.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Well, we appreciate you guys. We'll end up here, and we'll see you guys on Wednesday. And you guys all, I just encourage you, if you haven't been on the calls on Wednesday night, just encourage you to come on Wednesday night. It's always awesome every Wednesday.
Yeah.
Thanks again. Love you guys.
Love you guys. Y'all have a super night.
Bye. You too.